Okay, here we go. Welcome to another episode of Dungeon Doom Hands Let's Talk Lore, where we talk about various topics relating to Dungeons & Dragons gameplay. I'm Spencer.
And I'm Chris, and our goal is to give you a short episode to enhance your gameplay. Let's get after it.
Let's go! Okay, welcome back to the second part of tonight's segment, episode 5, where we will talk about puzzles without solutions, and what exactly that means, the solutions and the puzzles. For that, I give you Chris.
So this is a topic that I've recently heard not too long ago, and I presented it just as that to Spencer earlier, puzzles without solutions, and his response of all the things that he was assuming I was meaning by that, of like puzzles that the players can't solve or puzzles that whatever. And my idea of that, the thought is, this is something I took from Critical Role, Matt Mercer. He explained the concept of it. Matt Mercer.
Oh, Matt Mercer, yeah.
Yeah. Is the idea of like you just create a problem without trying to solve the problem in a way that the players can do it. Not having a preset solution that the players have to do to solve something.
Just to be clear, we're not talking about puzzles in general. We're talking about like
a problem,
like a predicament of some sort.
Yeah, a problem or a situation.
And what did he say? He said that you don't need a solution to it. To enjoy it.
It's my understanding of it was having a problem there is enough. And as a DM, you know that any solution that you make or any mechanics probably are going to be sidestepped, or their players are going to find some weird, stupid way that you never thought of to solve something. Let them. It's the idea of like, here is this crazy hard thing. I have no idea how you're going to solve it. I didn't think about it. I just know it's really hard to do. Right. So figure it out and go. And it's a great way to say for DMs to be like, all right, yep, that sounds like a really great idea. Let's see what happens.
So I had when you had told me about this topic, I was like, I don't even know. Have you guys even solved a basic puzzle? And the answer to that is yes. You're all still alive, one, but also I was trying to think like, okay, in our game for 3 years, almost. I keep saying 4, but we're gonna get there. We're gonna get to about 8 to 10. I mean, we're almost halfway there to 10, if you think about it, because we're almost at 4.
We're almost halfway to halfway.
Yeah. And I'm trying to think, like, where does this apply in our game? Like, I have very limited outside of our world that we're creating game time, and I'm sure I'm going to ask you for some examples that don't relate to Agoth Doomhand and the Skulls of Power, which is a fantastic voyage. Please watch us on the next session next Monday. But that was a little shameless plug. But I was like, what is he talking about? I gotta come up with some ideas. And I realized that the entire main plot of the whole thing is exactly what you're talking about. There is a being who can't necessarily be killed yet, or maybe ever, who is trying to take over the world and try to kill the gods by turning everyone into a zombie. And from what you can tell, he's invincible. And go.
Yeah. That's a puzzle without a solution. There is something there, and you've admitted when we've talked, you have no idea how we're gonna beat them. We'll figure it out. Right. You have ideas that might work, but is that what we're gonna do? Absolutely not. I can guarantee you we're not gonna do what you want us to do.
Yeah, and some of the most enjoyable portions of it have been actually when I say it, I mean watching you guys play. Sometimes I know when it's slow, I know when it's a little tedious, and it's time to pause and maybe we'll regroup next time or whatever. But sometimes you guys meet and you guys are actually role-playing, strategizing how to do it. And that's amazing. And I feel like I'm like, oh, good job. Even though I had nothing to, I was like, I want these guys to solve this problem. But like, watching you guys communicate through it. So I have an example of that I'd like for to ask you about, which was, as you said, before I asked you about something that doesn't relate to Agathumand, the Kraken problem. Well, why don't you tell the story of how the Kraken happened? It started with the random roll of the table, and a priest was Kraken priest was washed up on here.
So we finally made it to the water. It was after we got the Red Skull. We finally got onto the water because I don't remember how we started and got on there, but we ended up stealing some ship. Yeah, we came out of some portal in the bottom of the ocean, found some sharks, stole a ship, started cruising around looking for this guy named Jackson. And this is where, like, Shadowhide Realm, it opened up a little. The water, the boat,
the whole thing, yeah.
Everything was whatever you want to do. Go have fun. We were cruising around, and a couple of random roll of the table, and the Kraken priest washed up on the deck saying, "Give me some magic items, and we won't kill you." And didn't like the ones I gave him, and other party members flat out refused. So he gave us 2 days? 2 days or 3 days or something.
Yeah.
Short period of time.
Yep.
And we're like,
36 hours.
Yeah, 6 hours. It's like, it's fine. We'll just run to land and not worry about this anymore. Needless to say, that didn't work, and we ended up on a couple islands with a Kraken coming up from below.
So it was funny because I was trying to steer you guys towards the land. I forgot why exactly, but then the Kraken. So really, what happened was I gave you guys too powerful of weapons. So I was like, okay, here's a simple thing. So interact with the priest. It's going to be obvious that he's a Kraken. He is the strongest. The Kraken, for those of you who don't know, I believe is the strongest being, at least in my world, the strongest being that is not a god. When I saw that, and we can talk about this in a lore segment later about the ocean, he wants more power. Like all people that are so close to becoming godly, not quite there.
Trying to find that last little bit.
You have to manipulate your believers by converting them to Kraken priests. You're not quite there. And so he wants all the powerful items to try to get him there, or take them away, or so on.
Yeah.
So he is essentially, if you fight him, you're gonna die.
Yeah.
So that was the puzzle that didn't have a solution, and you guys found one. It was insane. Oh my god.
Well, we knew that we couldn't fight him.
Right.
And then when we finally realized that we could not run him, we're like, all right, how we're gonna fight him? We brought in the help of our turtle boat friend, and we're on the island, and we got everything set up. Lone Star had a little rope trick portal that people can hop into and hide. We had this whole big plan, and Lone Star, his history was he is essentially an avatar of Talos before all of Talos' followers were murdered.
Right.
And he lost his powers. Hopefully none of the other characters can see this so they don't realize that story. So he had some knowledge of the Krakens and knew they're strong, and coming into that fight he was like, we have to have a plan B. Or like a plan Z, an absolute, everything else falls through. This is how this group continues on.
Right.
And Lone Star was an artificer, and he got lucky when he visited his friend Mario, killed Bowser. He had a extra dimensional necklace, and he had a bag of holding. And he's an artificer, so he knows the interactions of those types of items. And it's like, all right, absolute last thing, at least the heroes of the skulls will continue on, and at least I can get this Kraken out of here. So, fight starts happening it was probably after the first round. At the end of the first round, Lone Star's like, no, this is terrible. This is not going to work. Yeah. We're all going to die. And over the course of the next 3 rounds, slowly made his way closer to the Kraken, giving away all of his stuff without anyone really knowing why. He'd just hand off a bag of some stuff to one person, throw a little bag to someone else, and then once he got in range, did the thing.
It was insane. And so the interdimensional necklace inside of the bag of holdings. So the interdimensional necklace acts what? So you can put any object inside of it.
It was a homebrew item. So it's like you have a space, and you can put any number of creatures in there that can fill that space. And so I had a purple worm in there. I was befriending him, and then some intellect devourers
got in there.
Ate him and fucked that up. So I had that necklace, and it did its job. It took the Kraken and Lone Star.
Putting the necklace inside of the
bag of holding,
which is another interdimensional space, essentially, cracked the space-time continuum. I think that's something that actually happens, but I'm not 100% sure, but I think that happens.
Well, if you do a bag of holding and a bag of holding, that's what happens.
Yeah.
It's in the description of the item.
Really?
I'm fairly certain.
Interesting. Yeah, so like you guys managed to Lone Star sacrificed himself.
Or become something greater.
Yeah. So a black hole. But he essentially they plane shifted the Kraken. Like Puzzles Without a Solution. So the reason why I think that Puzzles Without a Solution, and I would be very interested to see if Mercer would ever watch this. Let's talk lore. He will, though. We're saying his name enough. I'd like to know if he was talking about how Puzzles Without a Solution. There's a lot of role play and a lot of preparation that goes in. Not even just during the game, thinking about what to do, but it's also like you guys were talking about this outside during the normal work week, how to do this. You guys had your own side,
Absolutely.
Which I wasn't privy to, and I'm thankfully, and I was not. And so, like, Puzzles Without a Solution is a perfect way to get people on the same team, I think, focused, and because if I were to say, okay, here's an object that can kill the Kraken, well, that's a solution.
Any sort of solution that you create is going to change the openness of how that problem feels, and you're gonna change the story and dictate, sort of guide everyone to that solution, because that's a solution that you created for it.
What about a simpler puzzle without a solution? That, like, let's say a viewer's watching now that or listening now, that a puzzle without a solution that they can take home and use at their own table. Do you have something that's a little bit easier than a Kraken on an open water ship with a?
You have a small building without any windows or doors. How do you get in?
That's hilarious. You see, I always like to play the barbarian.
So Smash.
Right.
So yeah, there's many different solutions, but it's not about trying to think of one that will work. It's like, I can think of a million problems that are challenging.
Right. It's so funny to just sit here and think of these things.
There's a 30-foot chasm with strong winds blowing across it, and you have to get to the other side. Let's go 60 feet across to get out of Misty Step range.
Wow, my head opens.
I mean, you can.
There's so much to think about here.
It's essentially just less prep.
Oh yeah, it's a lot.
But it's less prep because you're trusting your players. Like, they will solve this, and you're not making something so ridiculous like, oh, you're level 1 players. Here's what you ask. Solve that problem.
Right. And I like that the no prep, and I think that's a great team building exercise. It's fun as a DM to watch those things. I think I might have to do more of that in the game. I just think that if you're spending time sort of, I wouldn't say metagaming, but during your actual week thinking about these things, okay, well, yeah, there's a building that you doesn't have any doors. How do you know what it is?
How do you know it's really a building?
How do you know it's not solid, right? How do you know that there's something inside of it? And we haven't yet gotten to the point of the role play, or maybe we have. It's just that the type of players you guys are don't necessarily do the charmy stuff. And when I say charmy stuff, I don't mean wishing or a spell or a charm on a character. But like, if I was to face the Kraken, and other than my guy,
try to persuade him or be nice to him,
or just like, you know what? Let's all just kneel and let's tell him that we worship him and we would like to go through the process of becoming a Kraken. What is that?
Well, we'll find out. I mean, to be fair, I've only played a nice character who would be capable of doing something like that for a short period of time.
It's true.
Rena wouldn't do that. Lone Star definitely wouldn't do that. Wilbur didn't have a chance to do anything.
No, Wilbur got killed. Bad. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I'm trying to think of like other examples in our actual Agoth Doomhand Skulls of Power campaign and you guys actually, there's like a lot of them. For example, like, how are you guys going to get from out of the Underdark?
Oh, that's easy. You already have the solution for that. We have a dog that can teleport.
Yeah, but the whole that has its own.
We assume we know how to get there.
Mike Tyson Gilead. Yeah, I tried to tag Mike Tyson in that character's portrayal on Instagram. Mike Tyson did not like it yet. I need viewers to start liking that reel, and eventually he'll catch on and play. But yeah, Puzzles Without Solutions. What a good topic. It kind of like blows your head off a little bit when you're thinking about how long I planned certain things.
It doesn't have to translate directly to an encounter in the game. It's just an idea of thinking about how you set up encounters.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to solve everything that you put in front of players. Right. And the more you trust them that they're gonna find a way around it, find a way to do it, it takes the feeling of like they're breaking your game, they're going around side skirting all of your stuff. Like, no, that's what they do. That's their job, is to solve things. I'd
like to see. Is there a clip of Mercer's conversation about that?
Yeah, I can find that and send that to you.
Yeah, let's send it to me and I'll drop it in the comments section. I'd like to see what does he. It's got to be like, I'm thinking already like, okay, here's a puzzle without a solution. You get a note that has your name on it, that has your name crossed out, and it says, that's it. Like, it could be something as basic as, now you know that someone out there wants to get you. And now it's up to the player to decide, well, is he in this, and where is he? Let's go find him. Or it doesn't have to necessarily be a puzzle, but offering players as a DM a way to, it's even just tell the story is essentially what that is key to like just having a good game.
Handing the story to them with like, I created this cool thing. Now you guys go. You create your cool thing.
If you guys had gone the route of fighting the Kraken, I would have either killed everyone by accident, as a DM by accident, because the Kraken's so powerful, and taken all of your stuff. I would have taken absolutely everything of it, and then I probably would have killed someone just to teach you a lesson, and then gone away. But that would have been cool, but that would have also been a little boring in comparison to like what you guys came up with. So my takeaway as the DM, let the puzzles be a channel for the way that the players can participate in telling the story. That's pretty cool. You know what, Chris? I'm going to give you a little inspiration. Good job on that topic.
I'll take it. Oh yeah. Thank you, Matt Mercer. Thank you for my inspiration. I'll take it.
Inspiration! Yeah, sick. What a good topic. Excellent.
Yeah.
All right, well, that does it for tonight's episode. Did you have a takeaway, a specific takeaway that you, as a player, before I railroad this off the air? Does it require...
As a player, when you know that for the Kraken, I knew you didn't have a plan for how to negotiate that out. So it's like, when, as a player, if I know that there's that amount of freedom, then it just lets my creativity go wild. I can come up with the most ridiculous schemes that I could ever possibly imagine. And like that, bag holding in a bag of holding. That's a way to end a Kraken.
That's hilarious. First, when we air a new character, we're trying to get just random people to pop in for a session every now and then. Please feel free to DM us or give us any interest if you want that. I am probably going to use some of this puzzle without a solution to try to teach not teach, but that's not the word to use, but to try to get that new player to feel like he belongs to the group. Give the whole group something that they can't solve together. That's such a cool aspect.
I like that.
But is there anything that you can say to like a DM about the puzzles without a solution? Just don't worry about. I guess
you don't have to have a pre-written step-by-step instructions on how to get around every single puzzle, every single problem. Wizards who guard their temple, they have a way that they get in there, but they don't care they don't want anyone else to get in there. So there's not going to be, you hit this button and you do that. It's like, no, there's a trap that's going to try and kill you. Figure it out. How do you get around it? I don't fucking know.
And that's going to be so cool. Well, next episode, next Monday night, puzzle without a solution. How do you take a rock and put it into your brain? Chris, you're going to figure that one out.
I have a couple things I might try. I might be starting up a new character in a couple weeks.
No, people can roll medical. They don't need just potions, but no one ever seems to do that. You can just go up. Here, side note, guys. When you have a person who's prone on the ground during a fight, don't just run away and throw a potion or something at him or be like, hey, do you have a potion? No? Okay, well, it sucks for you. You could also, if you're next to him, you can use an action to try to stabilize. Like, Chris, if we were walking on the street and you got your leg cut off, I wouldn't be like, where's the potion? I would probably take my belt off and try to, stop the bleeding.
You definitely wouldn't.
Hopefully roll the nat 20 on it,
Yeah. You wouldn't also look around, find that potion, take it yourself, and then walk away.
Well, that's getting personal now. That's a personal attack. We're going to wait for Aaron to join us one of these times. Before answering that. But until then, thank you for joining us. Chris, what an awesome topic that was. We'll see you next time. If you want to listen to this, please feel free to look us up on Spotify, the new podcast that we're creating. Spotify, and it's Dungeon Doomhand Let's Talk Lore. Got about 5-6 episodes now. They're all pretty funny. All right, see you later. Thanks, Chris.
See ya. Bye.